History is not only about fighting to defend and win peace for a nation. It is also a place where many crimes were committed, causing not only material destruction but also immense human loss. I invite you to join me in learning about an organization that once terrified all of Europe so we can understand history more deeply. After World War II, the Gestapo was completely dissolved. At the Nuremberg Trials, it was declared a criminal organization for torture, terror, and participation in genocide. Many of its officers were tried, executed, or given long prison sentences. Others fled or went into hiding under new identities. Did you know that there was an organization that instilled such fear across an entire continent that people were afraid to even whisper? Yet, just weeks after the war ended, it dissolved as quickly as sea foam. The Gestapo, the infamous Nazi ghost police, didn't simply cease to exist. It vanished, scattered to the winds, leaving behind a chilling shadow that lingered for decades. So, what really became of the Gestapo after World War II? Let's rewind to Berlin in May 1945. The city is nothing but rubble, the air thick with the stench of smoke and burnt brick. In the darkened streets, people still suspected the Gestapo lurked nearby, imagining black leather coats, silent footsteps, and watchful eyes peering from behind curtains. For 12 long years, the Gestapo didn't just arrest people. They arrested the very notion that anyone could be safe. Born in 1933, the Gestapo thrived on fear. They were more than just a secret police force. They were the nervous system of the regime, listening in on conversations in apartments, bars, factories, and even at family dinners. Germans had a saying, "Even the walls have ears." And more often than not, those ears belonged to the Gestapo. But when Hitler died and Germany surrendered on May 8, 1945, the Gestapo faced a terrifying role reversal. The regime that had shielded them was gone, and there was no Nazi law to hide behind. Their arrest files, torture orders, and records of disappearances instantly became damning evidence. In the chaotic aftermath of the war, many Gestapo officers focused on one thing above all else: destruction. They burned documents, lists of names, and interrogation records. Gestapo buildings in Berlin and other cities smoldered through the night, as if the organization was desperately trying to erase its fingerprints from history. But fire can't incinerate memory. Survivors remained, witnesses lived on, and forgotten archives still existed. Soon, the Allies declared the Gestapo a criminal organization. This was a crucial distinction. It meant that the problem wasn't just a few rogue individuals. The entire machinery of the Gestapo was inherently criminal. At the Nuremberg Trials, 1945–46, the Gestapo stood alongside the SS and SD as a core pillar of Nazi terror. Film footage from the concentration camps, harrowing testimony of torture, and deportation paperwork, all of it cornered the Gestapo, leaving them no room to deny their atrocities. However, the story doesn't end with everyone was punished. Europe was in ruins, and Germany desperately needed new police, courts, and administrators. Here, the historical narrative turns gray and unsettling. Many former Gestapo members attempted to blend into the devastated populace. Some were captured quickly. High-profile commanders and notorious torturers were hunted down, tried, and sentenced to prison or death. But what about the thousands of others? They weren't famous figures. They were investigators, clerks, and local collaborators. They knew how to stay hidden, change their identities, and claim they were just following orders. They slipped into a starving Germany, a nation preoccupied with survival and burdened by collective guilt. Then, the Cold War descended. The world was split in two. The US and the Soviet Union craved intelligence, networks, and people who knew the trade. In this environment, some former Gestapo men were repurposed as anti-communist specialists, their expertise in surveillance, interrogation, and infiltration proving useful once again. It's a bitter irony, isn't it? A machine that once hunted people for Hitler was, in some cases, recycled for another hunt, under a different flag. Still, not everyone escaped justice. From the 1960s onward, West Germany launched a renewed wave of investigations. A younger generation, less burdened by the old silence of "don't reopen the past," dragged buried crimes into the light. Trials were held late, very late. Some defendants stood in court with white hair and trembling hands. These verdicts couldn't bring the victims back, but they served as a stark warning. Time does not erase crime. The most chilling aspect of the Gestapo's afterlife isn't just the fate of individual officers. It's the question of how such an organization could take root within everyday society. The answer lies in how the Gestapo functioned before 1945. It thrived on fear and mutual denunciation. Many arrests began with a neighbor's tip, small grudges, jealousy, or blind loyalty transforming into deadly reports. The Gestapo wasn't only a monster descending from above. It was a monster nurtured by silence and cooperation from within. After 1945, the Gestapo vanished as a formal entity. Its buildings were seized and its symbols erased, but its shadow remained. In the trauma of survivors, in a society struggling to rebuild trust, and in Germany's renewed commitment that no police above the law would ever rise again on its soil. If this story helped you understand the devastating cost of unchecked power and collective fear, please like and subscribe. Your support helps keep these hidden corners of history alive, exploring where people slid into darkness and what it took to climb back out. But what happened next as Germany split into East and West, and old shadows began wearing new uniforms? Please share your thoughts in the comments section.